individual decision making in like chaotic situations, or those kind of half a second decision making from an individual perspective is still not on point. So they need to kind of hone those protocols and make sure that they are more often than not on the right side of the ball. But other than that, I feel like, I think they have a good approach. And like I said before, I like the fact that they have Alex now on this lineup, giving that alternative leadership option for the team when it gets rough a little bit. So I think that there's definitely some good things coming from this team.
Yeah, I think if you consider the fact they had a small amount of time with Alex in the roster, that now that they get 2 weeks until the next phase of the major kicks off, that's fantastic. They can go home, they can, have a day or two to chill, and then get stuck back into it and build up to that. Because we've seen what they've been able to do here. We've seen the fact they have executes. Their mid-rounds got better throughout the tournament. They were fixing all the little bits and pieces and learning together as a team, because this is their LAN debut. It was for quite a few of the names at this tournament thus far, and it's very positive signs for these guys moving forward.
Well, let's move forward, because we have a guy that's no stranger to LAN, and he's been around for quite some time representing that fringe scene. It's going to be a natural-born killer. It's MBK on the heels of what is a successful run here for Vitality, finding that spot in the major. Let's hear what he's got to say with Jason Kaplan.
Thank you very much, Stunna. Yes, MBK, first of all, it has to feel damn good now to be in another major here, especially with Vitality.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we aimed for when we formed the roster. And, I mean, it's been a huge grind. We came from the Open qualifiers, from the last one. Went down. I mean, every wrong thing that could go wrong for us just happened. And then, I know we just kept on fighting no matter what. And I'm just super happy for the team, super proud of the whole team, and very excited for all the fans to be able to share all the Vitality stickers that are going to come up. I mean, I'm just so happy for the org, for the players, for everybody.
Okay, now I want to look at the match in particular, especially the first map on Mirage. Valda dropped 40 frags on you guys in normal regulation time. How do you kind of stop that downward spiral? How do you kind of come back from that match when things are so out of control?
Yeah, I think Mirage, we had quite a close level on the map from both sides, which was not really great, to be honest. And Valda just killed everyone, pretty much. So that definitely helped them big time, I think. And I don't know, we just felt a bit off when we came on Mirage, because we knew what we wanted to do, and then at some point it just turned around. And I know some cameras probably caught it, but I got very mad at the end of Mirage, because we were just playing like larvas, so like very passive, not doing much, and just receiving punches in the face. And on Nuke we started being much more vocal, much more active in the game, and I think the difference just happened like instantly.
And the thing is about your team, and most of the teams that you've been on across your entire career in CSGO, it's always been about some of these big names like Kenny S, Shox, now ZywOo. If you were to compare all three and to look at Kenny S and Shox in their prime, who to you is the better player between those three?
I think it's hard to say, in the sense that ZywOo is far from being in his prime, despite it sounding pretty unreal. I think he still has a lot of things to learn, and some maps, especially the minor, he went average in a way, which is, when you look at ZywOo, you don't expect an average plays from him. So I think he can really learn still a lot, but they all have different qualities. Shox has been the all-around star player that is clutching, entering, and all that kind of stuff. Kenny was the star hopper. And ZywOo, I think, is more like Shox in the sense that he can do anything and everything. So he's just good in every department, and we're able to base our game off of either playing with an hopper, or he can play with rifle and see as good as he is with the snipers. So they all have different skill peaks, but I think once ZywOo is going to be at 100% and has like 2-3 years of experience, he's going to be up there with those two that are known for their insane individual level.
Okay, and then last question here, and I think it's more of a personal question for you, because you've been around CS for such a long time. You've been in so many different rosters, so many different iterations of the French scene. What keeps you so motivated to keep going? With so many rosters disbanding and breaking up and not getting results you've wanted, how are you still here playing this till this day?
I think there were several parts. One of the big ones is probably from the beginning when I played with Existence and Niag. They were my in-game leader and coach. They just always taught me to work 24/7 and never stop. So it's just a routine that I have to keep on playing and practicing every single day. And coming in with Vitality now, because it was a big bummer when we got benched from G2 and had to take like 5 months off. Coming back with Vitality is, for me personally, a whole different project where I'm completely responsible of the whole thing, in a sense that if I want to do the team, to lead the team that way, we would go that way. If I want to go the Astralis way and go with, the Navy or something like that, and do, all those military training, I can do it as well. So for me, that's my motivation. We're building something new, and it's one step at a time. And that major meant a lot because in 2019, that's the big one we want to be at, and we have no real other tournament that we are looking forward to. And all the big teams are going to be there, and that's one way for us to show that we belong in the top teams. So that's my motivation. I want to build something great. And, before I was just about destroying opponents and killing everyone, and now it's more about building a great team, forming players, having a great group, and be proud of what we achieved together, because we started from nothing for like 5 months ago.
Very true. And Nathan, honestly, for me, we've known each other for quite a long time. Very proud of you, and congratulations once again on getting to the major. Let's head back to Trace on the desk to break down the rest of the day.
Yeah, we're going to be doing just that. And it was some lovely words there. Very well handled, I think, on the one. I think it was very politically correct. Very smooth in his transition, talking about his former teammates there.
I wanted him to just say Zai was the best. That would have been the answer I would have liked.
Honestly, I do believe that, considering how new to the top scene Zai is right now and what level he's capable of showcasing already, just think of this guy, like MBK was saying, 2-3 years down the line, once he's built a little bit of more experience, is getting more accustomed to the high level of Counter-Strike, I feel like this guy's going to be a monster.
Yeah, but that could also come with its negative sides too, right? Because there's some times where these players can get into that rhythm. They can find some complacency. They can find some bad habits.
Individuals do plateau sometimes. We've seen that as well, but that's all up to him and his team and coaching and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's not the nail in the coffin for North. They do have a little bit more of a run here. Perhaps we could take a look at the runs overall and start looking at the brackets, starting with Group A. In case you just tuned in for the first time and you actually just loaded into Counter-Strike for the first time, welcome and thanks for joining us, because Group A has went down here for the EU Miners, and Chad, the Sponge Birchill, would love to walk you through it.
Yeah, the two names coming out of this group, obviously Vitality and Valiance there. I think Valiant showed the individual prowess of their entire team, their approach, their willingness to just continue that in-your-face style, and that's fantastic for this team going forward and great for their region. The majority of the players coming from Serbia and the likes over there. Vitality, we just saw them qualify. Mousesport's the big one, which we've said time and time again, disappointed beyond belief.
Caught in the trap. They have fallen to Valiance there in the lower bracket, and that did end their run, and also they were able to take out Optic on their way. So bouncing on down to Group B. Natu, what do you got?
As we can see, Group B was easy for Ants. First of all, I think that's the first news we can...
Had to.
It had to be said, right? The other news, obviously, is Windigo managing to upset North in the initial game, and then it became down. If you go to the decider game, it was again North and Windigo heading up against one another. It was a 2-1 nail-biter, but North in the end managed to scrape through.
That's right, they have scraped through, and we can scrape through these playoff brackets, because this is how it broke down, and this is how it all came together at the very, very end. Yes, easy for Ants, netting themselves 30K and a major main qualifier spot. But I guess overall, big picture, Vitality finding that second here. And then North. Now, this is where things do get a little interesting, right? Because they're not out. They aren't eliminated. They're going to be going to that minor playoff, and they're going to have another shot at finding themselves a berth in the major.
Well, they'll be back here next Sunday, right? So the fact of the matter is, I don't see a world where North do not qualify for the major. I think that they will go through in that first seed position from that playoff or the play-in, the minor event that'll be going on. And I think that with the likes of the teams that are going to be there, they're facing, they should be able to do it with relative ease.
With relative ease. Can you guys give me any closure here? Natu, do you have any closure for the EU Miners overall other than easy for Ents?
I can. I do like Valiance as well. I think we have to keep on highlighting them, and the positivity, the way they were playing was very positive to me. I think, like I was saying before, give them a little bit more time. If they keep this lineup, they have potential here for sure. When we come to the next major cycle,
yeah.
There we go.
Or circle.
That's the right word. Yeah. I feel like they will definitely be a contender.
Well, the contention stops now. We're going to have to take a break, and it's going to be a rather long one. In fact, over 24 hours, because it's time to get into the Asia and Americas minor. First off, that first matchup is going to be Greyhound and Cyberzen. And then over on the American side of things, it's going to be Bravado versus INTZ, not to be confused with INTZ, whom of which it is easy for. That does it for us here. We're going to be going away, and we'll catch up with you in at least a day's time. So make sure you're here with us when we kick off the next set of minors leading until the Intel Extreme Masters Major here in Katowice.